I was talking about this with someone today. Someone asked me about it, and I said we're gonna gut it. The fish is gonna rot from the middle.
Mhm.
I talked to I had invited when I was chair. I invited an economist to a faculty meeting. We have great faculty meetings. We're the only department that does this, where we invite outsiders to come and give a talk at our faculty lunch.
Like
It could be
motivational speakers, or
no, well, it could be the provost. It could be the head bean counter of the university. It could be the guy in charge of the parking. Could
Mhm.
be the person who runs the Johnson Art Museum. Anything that suits our fancy. Someone in the development office, trustee, some person just has a good story.
Mhm.
And so we have a department that's so educated about the world around them. And I've asked a number of speakers, many, do other departments invite you in to do this? And they've never said yes. And I've told deans and stuff, you should tell departments to do this, because my colleagues know a ton about how the university works, which is why we are very prominent in the university, because we tend to run divisions and things like that, because we know what we're doing.
Mhm.
I can't even remember why I told you that story.
Is there friction or something with the different
Oh, I
departments?
brought in an economist who's kind of an expert at university finance. So
Yeah.
it's not all he does, but he kind of dug into that. And he, sitting in my office before the faculty meeting, we chatted for about a half an hour. And that could be fun. I mean, we had the Secretary of Energy come in. I get to chat with him about why I thought global warming was crap. And this economist said he thinks the golden age of academia is over.
Mhm.
And this guy's been studying it. So the costs are too high. The debts accruing are disastrous.
Mhm.
We're discovering that, I don't know about we, but some people are discovering that maybe instead of going to even an elite college and studying some subject, which I don't want to name because I'll get someone pissed off, but think of one that doesn't have a big payday at the end. Put it this way, not computer science, not
Mhm.
physics, not
Oh,
engineering.
I gotcha. I know what you're talking about.
Um, and it's just not worth it, right? So
Mhm.
there's majors that should be courses, there's courses that should be history, as I like to say, and there's colleges that shouldn't exist. So I think we could cut the colleges in half,
Oh, absolutely.
send some of those guys off to BOCES to learn how to do plumbing and carpentry and electronics and various high-tech stuff, right? Various computer stuff, and
Boy, I wish they had ChatGPT when I was in college.
well,
I'd have been an AI expert.
this story goes actually back a little ways. So ChatGPT is the headliner right now, but for quite a few years now, you've been able to, if you wanted to write a paper and you had the resources, you could outsource the paper. There's guys
Mhm.
who wrote papers for you. You say, I need a
Mhm.
5-page paper on such and such, and there's guys out there who'd write it for you.
Mhm.
So that sort of rode the coattails of the internet onto the college campuses. So that already exists. The fact that you can search a paper for plagiarism means that the traditional plagiarism of grabbing something off the internet and just doing it, that can be checked easily. So that's not it. ChatGPT brought in a whole new dimension because it's technically not plagiarism, right? It's original writing by AI. I was going to, as of about a year ago, I'd gotten sort of unofficial clearance to as one of my 2 semesters of teaching, teach a freshman writing seminar. Now, what we had is this great freshman writing program where every freshman had to take 2 semesters of writing, and the topics were anything imaginable. The
Mhm.
goal was pick a topic you like, and then you have to write papers. You have to learn how to write. And so we taught writing by making it topical enough with, if in elementary school we didn't have to read Dick and Jane when I was a kid, I might like reading, except Dick and Jane were so insufferable. You had to have taken it to an R rating for me to care. Um, so I was going to teach a writing course on personal finance because I'm obsessive about writing and editing. I'm kind of born again,
Mhm.
where I learned to write a little late, but then I became fanatical about it. And then ChatGPT showed up, and I realized I was never going to get an original paper again. So it's not clear what what the relationship is of ChatGPT to cheating. The rules are being written as we speak.
Well, do you ever see, say, maybe a student that was an underachieving student, then all of a sudden ChatGPT's out, and now
Well,
he's writing perfect papers, turning in, any type of projects or something like where you're like, man, I know this kid didn't write this. Is anything like that happening?
Well, I'm sure it's happening all over the place,
Oh,
but
absolutely.
how do you I had a funny story there when I was trying to get my son to let me help him learn how to write, and of course he just wants to get the assignment done.
Mhm.
And this was in I don't know, ninth or 10th grade, and and I went to help him, and I'm thinking this is a great opportunity to teach him how to edit, right? And he says, no matter what we do, I'm still going to get a B. And I said, why? And she says, because the teacher doesn't like me. And I said, well, let's see. And so I we edited. It was a very good learning experience for him. And then he got a B.
Mhm.
And I know it was
At least
better
they don't
than what
like him.
I know it was better than the shit he was submitting. And
I
and then one day I was reading about a guy who actually had his daughter write a book report about his book. She wrote a book report about her dad's book. Dad helped her, and she got a B. So this is not that rare. I think the teachers, if you give some middle school teacher the task of grading 120 papers, are they really going to grade them all really carefully? No.
No.
And so they figure out who's smart, who's not, and then they just kind of give them those grades from that point
That
on.
that is exactly what would happen to me in college. I was kind of in that, just give Kevin a B or C. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
there'd never be pushback from me. But Professor Dave, did you
Spelling tests, for example, are fine because you can just grade the spelling test, right?
yeah,
Math,
that
same, but a writing, the teacher forms an opinion of who you are and who you're
well,
not, and then they.
exactly. And a lot would be, Scantron too, where they just, throw them in the machine. But Professor Dave, did you watch the GOP debates last night?
No, I heard about him. Did Ramaswamy slap Nikki Haley around or not?
So I watched like half of it, and it's just like that format just like infuriates me. But he had some, kind of like viral moments. I don't like Nikki Haley. I don't like her at all.
She's a war hawk.
Yeah, yeah. But I had to turn it off, man. I don't like the format of these debates, but I'd say of what I saw, Vivek probably did the best, and I think that's what they're kind of saying on Twitter, that he was the shining star of the whole thing. But
I think he's looking for a VP position.
there's so many rumors about him. One is that
I find him to be overproduced. His answers are almost too perfect.
well, did you see the videos of him copying Obama's speeches? Like there's
No,
videos of him like you could look him up where he's verbatim copying Obama speeches. So I don't know if he's got somebody writing his stuff.
well, are we even sure it's true? That's the other problem.
Yeah,
Or
but
that he knows he's got to get the MAGA vote. You pick on Trump, you're going to lose the MAGA vote. Trump has really got the Republicans cornered.
oh yeah, it doesn't look like there's any way, besides, him dying or going to jail, literally being taken off the ballots. Well, actually, if he went to jail, he could still be the nominee. But I guess the strategy of that from Vivek, I don't know if that'd be a good strategy, because wouldn't you want to go after Trump if you want to be the nominee? But
I don't. I think you got to get the MAGA vote.
you do. But the other theory is that it's just for publicity because he's got like a podcast now, and it's just kind of, catapulted him into the scene, and now he went from an obscurity.
Well, I think a better theory is that he's campaigning for 2028.